All right, hey guys, sorry for the delay getting this video out. I struggled a little bit with the setup. I feel very happy with what I posted. There's two setups in the Discord. One is labeled safe. I would start with that setup if you're struggling with oversteer in the big sweeping corners. And then once you're comfortable, then you could kind of evolve into the standard set. This track is very, very difficult on your left side tires, a lot of big sweeping right hand corners. So I tried my best to make that not be an issue, but unfortunately it's just the nature of the track, the car, the tires. And I spent a lot of time trying to fight that, and it kind of wasted a little bit of my time, but I learned. So it's not a bad thing. It just means this video is a little late, and I'm sorry. For everyone who supported the first one of these at Stenderton, I greatly appreciate it. Please let me know in the comments how your races went, if it was helpful, and if there's anything I can do better for you, let me know. But with that, let's get out on track. We're gonna do a kind of a quick track walk, and then at that point, I'm gonna warm up to some hot laps. I'm gonna edit that out this week, and kind of just get more to the hot lap. But I'll kind of explain the issues I faced while getting up to speed, because the car starts to handle its best at about, I'm gonna back up here a little bit. I'm gonna say about lap 4, 5, 6 is when it handles good. But at that point, the temperatures just get really, really hot on those left side tires, and you have to really manage that. So yeah, pretty decent straightaway here into turn one. Going into turn one, I like to use the poles on the, get my mouse here, on the left side. You could use these signs as a braking point, but I don't like to look out away from the turn. So typically when I get to about the third, between the third and second pole, usually closer to the third pole, actually kind of right about here. I'm not sure if you can see it in the side monitor, but right about here is where I like to get on the brakes. Going into turn one, I like to just do a decent amount of brake pressure. You don't need to stand on the brakes. You just want to get a nice, good pressure, get the nose set, and drive kind of into the corner. You'll go from 5th to 4th gear. Turn one is kind of deceptive here. In a high downforce car, you can take it faster than you think. And in a car with no downforce, it's a little slower than you think. You do have some banking. It is kind of uphill. So really you want to just kind of drive to the bottom here, get the car to grip and hook up, and then just drive it off. If you're using all the track, you're going to risk going wide here. That's just something, I got the pit limiter on still. That's just something you're going to have to kind of balance and work with. But turn one's a little tricky, but luckily it's a short run to turn two. So even if you're a little bit off, it's not going to like kill you. The chances of somebody getting a better run out of that corner and then carrying enough speed to get a pass that on you, it's pretty slim. Now going into turn two, or the sweeper, no, I think they call this the rabbit's ear, or whatever. This turn is very tricky. It's a very long corner. The way the car's set up, you're really going to kind of drive into the corner off the left front, drive off the corner off the left rear. And what I mean by that is you're going to kind of go in here, you're going to sweep down in, and I'm going to set a reset point. You're going to kind of get down, and you want to see these seams here. There's a seam, I don't know, hopefully the mouse picks it up. A seam right in front of the car. You want to really kind of stick to or under that. So you're going to drive it in, you're going to be carrying a lot of speed. You're going to pass the second set of seams, which is a little darker. Then right here, you'll see a spot where the track starts to darken up. That's when you're really going to start driving off the corner, and the weight of the car is going to shift. So it starts to shift back. So at that point, the car's just bound up. The tires are doing all it can, and you'll start to kind of drift. You want to really work that throttle, maybe even just a tiny bit of brake pressure to keep the car rotating where you want it, but not over rotating. And you'll kind of go through here with a little bit of skew in the car, hugging the inside. Once you see this second darker patch, that's where you're going to want to start letting it walk out on exit. Carry the momentum, walk it out. The track does kind of crest and it goes away. so it sucks you out at the last second. So try to hug inside more than you would expect. Like if it was a flat surface, you could walk it right out, that'd be fine. But because of the way the track kind of crests over the hill and falls away, you'll find like at the very end of this, you're going to be putting 2 tires here on the dirt if you're pushing really, really hard. I don't recommend going that hard. One, because the left sides are already cooked. There's, again, not a big run to the next set of corners. And you want to get back across over here to the right. I'll reset my timer here in case I mess up my explanation. So right here, you want to kind of obviously run as far to the gravel on the right as you can. But if you look here, you're going to see a seam on your inside on the left. I like to basically do obviously my braking. And when I turn down, I like to run my left rear tire over that seam and kind of aim for the corner. If you get your left sides just on the inside of this dark groove, that's how you know you're kind of hitting your mark. This corner, though, thankfully is uphill. It has a little bit of banking, and you want to use that to your advantage. Another thing you'll kind of notice here, the curbing has some rubber buildup. Aim for that. You don't want to hit the curb, but you want to graze it. So you kind of want to just get right up to it. You're going to still be off throttle here. You're using the hill to slow you down. And once you kind of get pointed out and the front of the car's rotating, you're going to get back on it and head up to the Budweiser balcony. And you're still going to be carrying on throttle. Now, this turn here, I think there's 2 ways you can attack it. You can go for speed and really kind of diamond it off. So go wide. In fact, let me set my marker. You can go wide here, turn, and then diamond it off to get a straighter run down into the hill here. And I think that's a little bit quicker. The problem is after turn 2, your tires are cooked. Personally, I don't think you're going to get past here. I'd rather give up a little bit of speed, cruise, hug the inside. You're going to get this dark seam. And then you also have, oh, I hit the wrong button. You also have the set of barrels there. That point, aim and shoot down the hill on the gas. I think diamonding it off is a little bit quicker. However, your tires are cooked. You got to give them a bit of a break. Between turns 8, 9, and 2, those left sides are going to be hot. So I feel like right there, turn 4 is a great chance to cool them off. Heading down here into turn 5, pretty straightforward. You're going to have a curb on the right and a curb on the left. Well, by the time I get to the curb on the right, I want to be heading straight. I don't want any weight shifting around in the car. I want my car to be balanced, driving downhill. And in fact, just as a reference, let's see if this works. Yep, went back up the hill. Just as a reference, you can see there is no rubber on the curbing on the right. You're not supposed to hit it. You want to get close to it, but you shouldn't really be hitting it. Again, though, heading into a straight line here, you're going down, but you're going down into a hole. You're going to do all of your braking early, get down to 3rd gear, get locked into this little valley here. You'll see rubber on the curbing on the left, meaning you want to get on it. Don't jump the curb. That back side of the curb is really aggressive. It's going to really throw the weight of the car off, but rubbing up against it's fine. But as you kind of go down into this hole, you really want to just get down into it, get the car locked and settled, and then drive up off as hard as you can. Next hill here is a little deceptive. It's a very easy corner if it was flat, but we are cresting a hill. So you want to get the weight transferred to the left side early before you crest the hill. That way when you crest the hill, the car's already rotated. You don't want to hit the hill straight on and then turn, because all the weight's going to be off the front. The car's not going to turn and you're going to go wide. Turn 7 here. Pretty straightforward, full throttle, lightly turn the wheel. But where it gets a little bit tricky here is turns 8 and 9. I hope I can explain this well, because this is where a lot of the speed is and it's hard to hit consistently. As far as turn in, I like to turn in and cut across this seam. And then you'll see the rubber build up here on the left side. I like to hug the inside as much as I can. Hug the inside, hug the inside, hug the inside. The car is naturally going to want to drift wide. And the track pretty much gets parallel with that Toyota building. So you'll want to be on the outside when the track goes straight. So like once you're here, you're running parallel with that Toyota building. I know it's out of the frame. Let me back up here for a second. So obviously this being straight where I'm at, it's a little too early, but you want to kind of come out, swing ride, and then have the car balance, neutral, no weight shifting by this point, running straight. And then you're going to want to kind of turn down and treat it like a second corner and get down again, cutting over the seam. And this is where it gets tricky. You're going to really want to kind of balance the throttle, maybe a tiny bit of brake if you're carrying too much speed. And you're going to aim just past the cone there on the right. Again, this is one of the trickier parts of the whole course. You're going to be dancing the car, lifting a little bit, get the nose settled, maybe riding a little bit of brake, whatever you're comfortable with. You don't want to aim for the cone, but the cone is your best visual reference. So I kind of view it as by the time I get to the cone, I have enough wheel and momentum going to the left, the right, that you kind of hit this little bit of a bump hole here. And then at that point, you'll be carrying enough speed, it's just going to walk you right out to the edge of the track. You're probably going to get an off track here. It's going to be tight. You're likely to hit the hole at the end of turn 9. Don't be aggressive on the wheel. Don't overreact if you do hit it, because that's going to upset the car even more. But yeah, you're going to walk it out here, get it straight, turn in. Using a little brake right here, a little more. Keep it rotated. I see the cone. I'm aiming just past it. I hit the hole and drive off. Obviously, I wasn't going full speed there, but that's the technique you want. I'm going to do a lap getting up to speed, and then I'll cut to a hot lap. So again, about third pole on the left, down to fifth, fourth, walk it out, get across, turn in here across the seam. I'm putting a little brake in, just patient. The weight shifts. I start to drift. It's not too bad right now, but yeah, we're drifting on the out, cut back across, brake, cut the seam, use gravity, come up the hill. I like to hug the inside myself. I don't think it's faster, but I don't think it's that much slower. Aim down here, hill, straight, no weight transfer, brake into the hole, let the car land, get back to it, shift the weight before the crest. And even there, I got a little free. Obviously, go fast, kink to the left, and then really wring its neck, cut the seam, stay low, let the car drift wide, straight, back in, ride a little brake. I kind of missed my mark there. I see the cone. I cut back to it. That wasn't the quickest through there, but if you use that cone as kind of like a pivot point, not really the apex, but if you just remember it's before the apex, that's going to help a ton. If you use the cone as the apex, you're likely going to fall into the hole. And now I went wide there. We're going to edit that out. No, I'll leave it in. But pretty straightforward lap. A couple things to watch out for. Track temp's going to be really, really huge. In practice, I was anywhere from 94 as low as 85 in that range. Based on the length of the race, I think you'll be racing high 80s most of the time. The schedule does show a chance of rain. It's not going to rain. I really highly doubt it. I think they put... What's the word I'm looking for here? I think they put the chance of rain that Snetterton had on Willow Springs on the schedule. So if it does rain, take the rear sway bar or anti-roll bar from 2 to 1, put rain tires on, and change throttle mapping to rain. That's the only changes I would make to the setup. That's pretty much all I did to the setup. First enter 10 for the rain, and it felt fine, and I wasn't dramatically slow. What else? Wind is big here. Right now we are heading... I don't know my compass. We're heading north, southeast. We're heading east right now, and we have a tailwind, so we're going to be a lot quicker into this corner. 18 mile an hour tailwind. As we come around the corner here, pick up a little speed here. We have the wind cutting across our car, pushing us out. Again, 18 mile an hour wind in this session. That's going to really hurt our ability to turn in here. And then once we get to the front stretch, we're going to have a headwind. And again, north is this way. So that mountain there straight ahead is north. So use that as a reference if you don't have a compass or any way to know which way the wind's blowing. Back up here. But yeah, no, that's just kind of my basic track walk guide. That should hopefully give you guys everything you need to know what to do for each corner. You're gonna abuse those left side tires. Don't stress about it. Try to be mindful. If you could maybe back off a little bit in traffic, let those tires cool down. I'd recommend it. But if you're being pushed and you're pushing hard, just be mindful that the car's gonna want to drift a little bit. And I really think the best way to salvage the tire temp a little bit is by taking turn 4 a little bit easier to make up, because you can't really take turns 8 or 9 or turn 2 easy. Those are fast, aggressive corners. But yeah, with that, we're going to cut here. We're going to jump into me doing a hot lap, show you my time. Again, if you've made it this far, I really appreciate the support. Let me know how your races are going in the comments. Like the video so other people can see it. I'm going to kind of break down at the very end of the video what my goals and plans are with this series of videos, because I don't want to be the setup guy. But I am not a fan of the setup shop culture in iRacing, and I love to help people. So if I can share some of this information and hopefully help you guys be more confident in building setups or anything of that nature, I would love to do that in my videos. But with that, let's get into a hot lap. Okay, that wasn't bad, but I think I could do a little better. We're on lap 6, but I did the one cool lap, so it's really kind of lap 5 on the tires.
Lap of the session.
I just hurts those tires so bad there. I just messing that corner up 2 laps in a row. Ah, that was horrible. Tires are cooked. I might put these 2-3 laps together just so you can kind of see how much more the car drifts over. All right. Thank you for watching. Again, big thank you for all the support. The new subscribers, the extra views, and the people in the Discord. Thank you so much. This has just been a lot of fun, and hopefully I'm helping some people out. Long-term goal for this series of videos, I'm thinking at the end of the season I want to put together a video on setting up this car, the things I learned, the theories, what works, what didn't work, basically kind of like a 101 on setting up this car. and then evolving into a more complex car next season. Especially if I feel like I've got the most out of this car. I feel like I have a great baseline for the car as far as like the ride heights and the spring package and everything. Rear sway bar and shocks are really kind of like the main tuning tools I'm using right now. Shocks are going to be the trickiest thing for me to learn. I got some of the concepts, but it's not fully clicked yet. But once it does, I want to hopefully be able to share that. If you guys think that's a good idea, let me know. If there's a specific car you want to see me do next season. And I think I'll know about midway through the season if I'm ready to make that jump. I'm thinking a GT4, maybe even sticking with this series and maybe the GR86, depending on how complex its setup is compared to this car. I think this car is a great car for learning setups. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You have 2 wing settings, you have 2 sway bar settings, front and rear. You have camber. You don't have a lot. The big thing is the shocks. And my mindset and my theory when I'm doing a setup is springs and ride height control the speed of the car, where shocks control the drivability. You need to get your ride heights in the right place. You need to get the car efficient, like a good platform, and then you use the shocks to make it a little more drivable. Last week, my initial setup for Centerton felt quick, but it was kind of bad to drive. I wasn't a fan of it. I took the shock package the VRS setup was using, slapped it on my car, and it instantly became more drivable. Speed stayed about the same, but it was easier to control over the run. And I really struggled with that here, really focusing on the shock tuning. With it being a bumpy track, that's a little more difficult. With it having big corners that really abuse one side of the car, that also made it difficult. But again, if you've made it this far, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. If there's a specific car you think would be good for me next season, let me know in the comments. I'm thinking maybe a GT4, maybe even the LMP3. I want something more advanced than this, but I don't want something too complicated that I can't learn something. So yeah, again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good luck on all your races at Willow Springs, and have a great day.